All right, hey YouTube, what is up? Y'all ready to make some pinto beans? Now, I have made these beans before, but I got a lot of flashbacks saying they didn't see me do this or they didn't see me do that. Or when did you set the beans on the last hour? Or when did you take the top off and why did you put it back on? Anyway, I'm going to go through it for y'all again from the beginning to the end, so you don't miss a step. Hopefully I don't miss a step for you guys this time. Let's get into it. All right, these are the ingredients you're going to need here. You'll need some garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, oregano, chili powder, cayenne, paprika, and of course your beans. These beans I have set out all night. Well, not all night, but I did let them soak for 12 hours. So before I put the beans in though, we're going to go ahead and mix our water up and everything with our ingredients right here, because once we put them in there, we do not want to stir them up again. And we'll put a bay leaf on top, and we got to remember to take that bay leaf off. I'm sorry guys, I got my bay leaves in the bag. They kind of all cracked up, but they're going to work. So without further ado, I'm going to get that lid off. And this is a cup of beans that's soaked. So remember, every cup of beans take 4 cups of water. So we're going to go ahead and pour that water right on in there. And did I tell you I'm using 2 turkey tails? These are my surprise guests here. My special guests. They ain't no surprise. That's my special guest. All right. Let's go on and get that onion powder. That garlic powder. That oregano. I'm sorry, that's my cumin. This is my oregano. Remember, guys, that's my cumin, not oregano. I just dumped oregano now. Chili powder. Cayenne pepper. Paprika. We're going to give all this a stir. Give this all a stir right now. But we're not going to come stirring this anytime while it's cooking. You can stir it the last hour after you remove that bay leaf, if you chose to put a bay leaf in there. All right. And man, we almost through it here. This ain't too much to this recipe. I'm sorry, you guys. I hope I didn't skip a step for y'all this time. But we're moving on. Now we're going to add our already soaked beans. I let these soak for 12 hours. Remember that. You don't have to let yours soak for 12 hours if you don't want to. It just tends to make the beans a little bit more tender. All right, that's the beans in there. Now here comes my turkey tails. So 1. You don't have to use 2 neither. You can use 1, or you can omit the turkey tails at all, and you can go use some kind of pork. But I'm not using no pork. I'm using turkey tails. All right. Now, the bay leaf, because you always want to pick them out at the end. So being that mine is all kind of like broken up, you see how they are. Just remember how many I put in. I put like 4 of them, 2 on that side and 2 on this side. And they'll still be right there, kind of like floating on top, while I just soaking up flavor from this bay leaf. You don't remember, if you get to stirring them up with that bay leaf in there, you want to pick that bay leaf out. All right, so we'll go ahead and put our lid on. We're going to go ahead and start this off on low. Now we're going to let this cook for 8 hours. 7 hours is going to be on low. When we get to the 8th hour, we're going to bump this up to high, and we're going to remove the lid. All right, now guys, that time has finally come. We are at the end of the 7th hour, about to enter the 8th hour. This is the point where we take the lid off, take the bay leaves out, and bump our pot up to high. Let's go. Let the excess water drip off in there. Right, you can use a fork or whatever you choose. I'm using a fork, and I'm just gonna kind of remember where I put my leaves at here, and just take them out like so. And I believe I have one more in here somewhere. And if I don't find it now, I will find it later. Once I get to chowing down on these puppies. But anyway, folks, I'll bump that up. We're gonna leave this lid off for that next hour. Now, like I was saying, you can go ahead and stir this if you want to. I'm gonna go ahead and break my turkey tails down right now, and I'm going to give this a stir as well. Folks, this smells so good. All right, guys. Leave the lid off. See you in an hour. All right, folks, that time has finally come. Look at this here. This is what you want. This is nice and thick. And remember, this is like still hot. But once you let this cool down, this is gonna come to like a nice, almost gravy. Not quite a gravy texture, but it will be a little bit more creamier than this. If you can tolerate it eating this hot, it's a nice texture right now. But yes, this is what you want when you make them creamy pinto beans, guys. And put it on the plate and show you what I'm talking about once it cool off just a little bit. I found the other leaf too. It's time to shut it down and let it cool off. All right, now, folks, it's the time that I've been waiting for. I'm gonna get this a little bit closer for y'all so y'all can get it in view a little bit. Just look at how thick these are. You can spread that on top of some cornbread like icing, baby. Ooh. Check this out, folks. And while you checking this out, there'll be a link in the corner of the screen for that cornbread, and also in the description.